Happy Friday, everybody. All right, let's take a look at the energy for this week coming up and now. Hello, all the new subscribers and new members. Thank you for joining and thank you for subscribing. Thank you, Carol Bastion, Starfish Jenny. You guys are, and Sharon the Frenchie. Thank you so much, you guys, for your support. Really appreciate it. All right, let's take a look at the energy. Let's see if we've got any people coming on. And thank you so much for all your well wishes. I thought I better come on and say hi. I've had some health stuff going on. And hi, T. Lynn. Hi, Marby. Hey, Gail George. Debbie K. Hi, you guys. Yeah, I'm getting better. I'm gonna have a procedure done April 7th, so I'll be back to after that I'll be really good. I'm like at 40% now, so I'm just taking it, kind of easy. But everything's good. Good. Oh, I love you guys. Hello, my friends. Hello. All right, let's take a look at the energy. Let's just see what's going on. I know it's been kind of nutty. Yeah, hang in there. It will end. It really will. But just stay in your joy. Stay in peace. Stay in ease. I did a video. Adrian's probably working on it right now if he's not here. I channeled Mary Magdalene. I asked her, because I wanted to talk to somebody from the Middle East, an elder, a spiritual elder. What do you have to say? And so it'll be up probably today. Adrian is working on it. Adrian is my buddy. He's doing all the videos now. Doesn't he do a good job? Yeah, really helps. So he does a great job. That'll be out. So hi. Oh my gosh. Hello all you new subscribers. This is so cool. Thank you. It's so neat. New faces, or well, new names. Yeah. Hi. Awesome. Okay, let's take a look-see. And we'll see what is going on. What do we need to know? What is it? What is it about? If you have any spiritual questions, I'm not into reading today. I'm not 100%. So, but spiritual questions, I love talking about spirit stuff. Okay, we've got the Temperance card as our signifier. Means we're finding our internal rhythm. And that makes sense. I mean, my goodness, things are really in flux around the world and right in the energy. So temperance, we're finding our internal rhythm and our balance and peace despite any outside conflict. And it's so interesting because that's what this channeling was that Mary Magdalene told me this morning, that it's really that all of this energy that we are sitting in right now, that's being reflected back to us, it's about staying in our peace, staying in our joy. And, folks are wondering, why is this happening now? Like, why are we sitting in the political party that's in power right now? Why are we sitting in this kind of divided energy? And it's because we're learning. Really look at the progress that we have made from where we were a year ago. I mean, I know that there is war and tension. I know that the economy is shrinking and then healthcare is being taken away. But what I mean by that is that folks are seeing and they're making choices. It's forcing us to go within and to really find our heart center when it's like when all the crap is flying down around us. It's forcing us, it's propelling us. That's the lesson, is to find that. And so that's what came up in the channeling, and that's what this is. That the temperance card, it's about finding our rhythm and our peace and our balance despite any outside conflict that goes on around us. If we can get to that point as human beings, that what happens around us does not determine who we are, right? But that's our struggle, right? That's the challenge. Peak is saying we've been through a long process. We've this has been happening for years, but finally, like, the collective energy is kind of moving out of it, even though it seems like it's in our face, dealing with a shrinking economy and the healthcare going away and war and struggle, but that there's progress in that really it's leading us somewhere, that these are good signs because people are choosing, people are seeing, and people are choosing the light, he says. We're being asked to have a little more patience as we integrate healing energies. So it's all about balance and finding balance and peace when we are in conflict. That is that's the energy over the whole reading. In the beginning of the storyboard is the Magician card. So the Magician, we have everything that we need. All the tools are on the table that we need for the journey that awaits. And we're marinating in the King of Swords. And the King of Swords, he uses his intellect to lead, and he has the ability. That's the thing about the King of Swords. Think of his sword as having the clarity and the ability to remain clear-minded. I always think of him like swinging his sword and it being very clear, like opening up that image. Very fair when making decisions, says Pink, that um, we need to just stay very clear-minded, being very mindful in our bodies, in the moment when we make decisions for ourselves. And it's leading us to the Nine of Pentacles, where we are more stabilized, more confident, and feeling very grounded in our energy of independence. And it's an independence that we find within ourselves by being grounded, by standing in our joy and standing in our own peace, but like standing in your own little Idaho, right? It's your own little world, that all of this can be happening around you, but you find your peace and your strength within. Don't explain to people. You don't have to explain anything. You don't. And if you want to check out, check out. If you want to just lay on the couch and eat popcorn and watch movies, do that. If you want to go outside and work, whatever it is, if you don't want to talk to anyone, don't talk to anyone. It's okay. It's okay to pull it in and just stay in your joy. So good. So that's it. That's what we're dealing with. Yes. Wow. Very cool. Well, hello. More people have joined us. Hi, Paisley. Good to see you. Hi, Ray. Ray's Tabaki. Ray. Sorry, hun. Hi, hun. Good to see you. Hi, Infinitely Blessed. She passed her exam yesterday. We're so proud of, infinitely blessed. Good girl. Congratulations. Yeah. Hi, Debbie K. All right. If you guys have, Gail George is starting shamanic training this month. More life path lessons for us. Staying positive. Yes, good for you, honey. Hi, Frank. Okay. Yay. Okay, now I get it. Good to see you, hon. Hi from Japan. Hello, Japan. That is Marie Gunji. Is it Gunji? Gunji? Am I saying that right? I don't know. All right, so much collateral damage. I know, Debbie K. I know. Okay, good. We've got a question here. Hi, Margarita Pereira. Hi, honey. Sorry. What's the best way to try and make contact? What do you mean? Like, hi from Wisconsin. What do you mean, Margarita? What's the best way to try and make contact? Are you talking about our faraway friends? Always, whenever you're wanting to connect with a consciousness, like say Sasquatch. Sasquatch is a consciousness, and it's also, there are beings. So there's like different levels. Like Mu is a Sasquatch elder. When you, just by opening yourself up, your energy up, to belief, to sometimes it's just that little bit of belief which will flip the switch, and you will start seeing things and being aware of things, like going out, for example, Margarita, I know you didn't ask about Sasquatch, but if you go to the woods, if you go to a hike and you express your appreciation and ask to be in their environment, like say you're going to go for a hike and you're starting your hike, you will notice, you may hear things, you may see things, or you'll be pointed to start to pay attention to things. Like up in Washington State, when I would go out there, you learn to read the forest floor. You learn to, seeing crosses, like trees that are crossed, trees that are turned upside down, and their root bundle is pointing up and hanging down this way. You start to see how they hang out, but you will be pointed to kind of notice these things, and there's messages in that. It's the same thing, Margarita, like if you're wanting to open up, like say you have a starseed reading, or you've always felt that you have a connection to somewhere in the stars, or the Arcturian Council, or Blue Rays, or, if something is coming into your mind, that is your guides. They will help you, they will guide you towards seeing something. So if you're starting to notice that, or you feel like you have that connection, then do something where you're silent, or you're meditating, or praying, or whatever you call it, that time of connection, and just ask, what is it that I can do to be more connected? What is it that I can do to see or to hear? What is it that you want me to know? And a lot of times, that is the first way to connect, is to just be quiet. And you may hear your own voice, and whatever that answer is, that is your guide team, or that is the consciousness that's trying to come through, or that star being, or whatever it is that you're trying to connect with. Very good. There you are. Okay. Oh, I see. Yes. Good. Okay. I hope that helps, Margarita. Thanks for your question. Very good. Very, very good. All right. What else? I'm looking to see. Hi, Vivian. Thank you. I do offer readings, you guys. I do a 30-minute and 50-minute reading. JenBushman.com is my website. Love pink. Hello from Japan. Okay. Hi, Paisley. While some masks fall, are others tightening the strings and adding layers to theirs? Yes. Yeah. Some masks are falling, like energy is falling. People are changing. I mean, look at MTG. She's she's gone through a shift and a change. We have to allow people to change. We have to allow others to grow, right? Can't hang on to the past. Just stay right in the now. And it's pretty cool. You're seeing that everywhere, like all these right-wing podcasters that are they're changing their tune and they're seeing things like, wow, to me energetically, when I see that, it's kind of like you're watching that hypnotic spell that has been on people. It's just kind of like cracking and breaking like glass off of them, and but like we watched I'm using politicians, but it's kind of easier. It's like 6 degrees of separation using them as examples. But, Noam just had that hearing. Wow. But she came away where she added more layers. That's a perfect example, Paisley. Good question. Yeah, it made it more layered and more difficult for her. I saw it didn't reach her. It just digging in her heels in this new position that she's going to have, because I see that we're going to go into other places and she's going to be a part of that. That makes sense. Yeah. So, just do what you can. Stay in love, stay in your joy, and it just spreads out. It's like you're broadcasting like a radio scope, just sharing the love, right? Yes. Oh, all right. Let's see. Gail George, you're speaking to the stars. Beautiful. Guidance about existential worries about death, especially for young, awake people in their 20s. Hi, Chester. Thank you for being here. Yes. And the bombing that's happening right now has really triggered these little guys, these younger folks. And I did a video on that and I just addressed it directly. I work with kids, I work with psychic kids. They don't mind me, I have their permission. I'm not going to talk about them, but so I've worked with them, we'll do appointments and, kind of get everything all squared away, maybe after 3 or 4 appointments and understanding their abilities and stuff. And then they go off and do their life and, maybe they'll book another appointment with me, but they're always emailing me. We always stay in contact. And I have a support group that we meet, once a month, and those guys can come together and share. And that's what came up when the actual, Iran, the bombing, when we started that campaign, these guys, it really triggered that. And I think that they've all been carrying that fear. It's like when I was a kid, it was the Cold War with the Soviet Union or Russia. And we truly, I mean, we were diving under our desks, one for the earthquake, because this was up in Seattle, and then two for, we were doing nuclear drills, like for a bomb. Diving under a desk, and that just kind of starts instilling that fear, and it was never really talked about. And I think about that for these young people who are in their 20s, because that's what they said to me. I mean, they really just want to check out, like leave the planet. And so that's why I made that video. The thing is we have to understand, they totally see us elders, but they see the world differently than we do. They value collaboration, they value love, they value creativity, they value spirit. They're into tarot, and they're into art, and they're into creativity and doing it differently. They don't understand like climbing the corporate ladder, competition, being something. It doesn't make sense. And with the way that the world looks, with that, invasion that happened, and already these young people feel very hopeless about the future. Like they won't be able to afford a house. They won't get a job that will pay enough to be able to afford a house, or, to leave their parents, right? That they just do not feel hopeful about the future. And so instead of trying to get them to fit into our lives, it's like, okay, we need to understand how they see things so that they can create and help them to create. I mean, it's like this young girl back in Seattle. So this part of Seattle is called White Center, and White Center used to be like a place where you didn't want to drive down the main drag at night. And now it's been so gentrified that this young girl started a macaroon bakery in White Center, and it does really well. I mean, it's like instead of trying to fit into what you think you should do, or maybe what it is that we want our kids to be, look at the motivations and their creativity, what lights them up and fires them up. Yeah. They think differently. They totally assimilate energy differently than we do. That's all kids, not just the psychic kids, but there's so many psychic kids. Most of them are born very, very sensitive. So thanks, Chester. But they do worry about death. McKenna, my daughter, and she's okay with me talking about that, really came home very upset that day, Friday, when we invaded, right? It was on Friday last week, and really triggered her, and worries about, having that future and being preoccupied with dying. Like, are we going to survive? Is some of these kids really carry that fear. So just talk about it, Chester. Just talk and let the kids talk. And what they're going to say, it may be shocking, but try not to be shocked. Just encourage them to keep going, keep speaking, keep sharing, get it out, digging around in there and get it out. It's so important. So important. Good, Chester. Thank you so much for asking that. All right. Of a medium that had a Bigfoot encounter. I saved this. It's called Paranormal Bigfoot and Tara. Oh, how cool. Okay. We'll check it out. Was that on YouTube? Yeah. Kielwani Lapsaritis. Look up his videos. He's those are really interesting, and his ex-wife Kelly, but I think she goes by Butterfly now. But really good videos. There's some really cool ones, and then there's some, you just run the gamut, where some people see them kind of as things or as scary monsters, and some people see how beautiful they are, what that consciousness is here for, to teach us and watch over us. Hi, Leah. Thank you, hon. Yep, I'm feeling better. Hi, T-Lynn. When you hear your guides, is it your voice or theirs? Good question. You asked it just great. But curious, because years ago I had a friend diagnosed with audible delusions. Yeah, and a lot of time folks that are diagnosed with mental illness or delusions, they're actually quite psychic. There's quite a line, very fine line, between psychic ability and mental illness. So very cool. But yes, I mean, I hear my guides in all different ways. I will see Courtney and Pink. They will stand here, and I will hear them. Then sometimes they will show me like a movie, like when I am throwing tarot cards. I love throwing tarot cards because it kind of opens up into a movie and I get the whole story. I don't really read tarot like a traditional tarot reader. I mean, I love to learn the meaning of the cards, but for me, that's what it will do. It's kind of a way in the door that way. Sometimes I will just feel what the message is, or I will know their presence is here, but they will, for me, my relationship with Pink and Courtney has evolved, and when I am supposed to learn something, they will disappear and I will feel it in my body, the message, if that makes sense. T-Lynn, I know that sounds kind of strange, but for people, if you're starting out, I really recommend, if you want to build a relationship with your spirit guides, if you want to work with them, you can, because we all have a huge team. We have ET guides, we have, our main guides, we have different dimensional guides, but you really, when you're working with your guides, you really want to work with the ones that are 10th dimension and beyond. And how you ensure that happens is calling on my guide team of 100% divine white light. When you make that statement, it ensures, it's kind of like how it's a law of the universe. We have our physical laws. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. We have our spiritual laws that when you call on 100% divine white light, then 100% divine white light shows up. And that's 10th dimension and beyond. You want to work with the big guns. Crossed over loved ones, they're in the 5th dimension. And they can give guidance, but they are not guides. And you don't want to work with the crossed over folks, because when we die, we're in the 3rd dimension here. When we cross, we go to the 5th dimension. And it's like a hologram of who we are in the 3rd. When we do our life review, when we cross, we get perspective and we get understanding. And but we're still who we are with all of our emotions and those soul contracts that we were supposed to work out while we are here, right? We're still that capsule, but we exist in many dimensions at one time. So it's not just all of who we are was here and then goes to the 5th. So it will always be like that remnant of you in the 5th dimension, but we exist in many dimensions at one time. So you want to make sure that you're dealing with the big guns when it comes to working with clients. If you're a reader, if you're starting out and you're playing with a pendulum or using cards or scrying or doing something like that, you really want to make sure that you line up your aspects, and that's your conscious to your subconscious to your higher self, your physical and your energy bodies. And you spend some time doing this. You spend some time developing a practice, and then you become pretty seasoned with it so that you're always in kind of that state of protection, because you are the light. You become the light. You spend time working at it. It takes a little bit. It's not just like something that you can snap your fingers and just say, oh, now I'm the light. No, that's good. Keep saying that. But if you're wanting to get messages, if you're wanting to tap in, it's a process, and easily done, but very cool. You will hear, so when you start out, you will hear like in your own voice. Some people will hear that for the rest of their lives. Yeah, Pink's here. He's got a lot to say. That when you start out, pay attention in your body. If you ask a question or if you're wanting to connect, pay attention to when you ask that question. If you feel some sort of tingle in your body, if you feel a temperature change or feel or hear a tone, and you will start to, some people do that. They use their body like a barometer, they pay attention to the tonal changes, the heat changes. Some people may never hear anything. They may never even hear their own voice. There are famous psychics out there who will ask the question, but they will just know. Whatever the answer that comes into their mind, they just know it. Some people will ask a question and then hear the answer in their own voice, and it's not your imagination. And then some people will ask a question and will hear an audible, different kind of voice. So, but it's all equal, T-Lynn. It's all even. It's all equal. Nobody is better. It's just all different. We all are our own. We're our own psychic lightning rod. I mean, the way we bring in information is different because we're human beings first. right? I mean, some people say, oh, we're human beings having a spiritual experience, or we're spiritual beings having a human experience. But whatever it is, you still have to get around your humanness. And we're all different, and it's all equal, and it's all good. And that's a good question. Um, and some people will see and some people won't. Like when I do readings for people, with people, um, their team, I will sense them. Sometimes I can see them. Sometimes one will come forward. Sometimes it's like I'm talking to a person standing right here. Or sometimes it's Pink or Courtney standing there and they're kind of like relaying the information. Sometimes they don't even show up, or they'll show up and they don't want to talk. It's always different, and we all connect differently. Remember, when we do readings, we're connecting to the eighth dimension. The eighth dimension is where the Akashic records lie, and that's the possibility of you. It's your past, it's your present, it's your future. When I go into the eighth dimension, it's like I'm going into a sacred geometric spider web. Is what it looks like. Lines are running parallel and they're running all over the place, or they're running stacked at an angle or stacked on top. Those are the timelines. It's the possibility of you, your past, your present, your future. But we have free will. So we can jump timelines. We can change. You can jump your timeline with your free will by your choices. So as readers, when we're reading, we're going into the Akash. It's like walking into the library, and we'll just see a point, and that's where we land. So that's why if I'm reading for you, or if Jimmy's reading for you, or John, and we get different reads, that's why. It's because we're landing at a different point of the possibility of you. Does that make sense? This John Ramirez, if you're out there and you hear this, I want to thank you for your kind comment on that video that I did of the Iran channeled message, where I went in and saw. And I really appreciate that. He is sensitive himself, and he was explaining that he understood that we all get a different answer because it's not a finite line that we are on. So very cool. T-Len, that's a great question. I hope I answered your question with my mom speech. McKenna says I give too many mom speeches. So talk too much. Okay. Susan. Hi, Susan Raleigh. Hi, honey. I've had 2 experiences where I asked my guide team for something and told them to send me a specific sign because I wasn't going to do any. Within 3 days, I had the answer. Yay. That's so neat, Susan. Yeah, you guys, if you ask a question like, should I move to Hawaii or should I move to New York? Show me a feather. If, try to break it down. Don't ask like for 2 places. Like take Tuesday and get the message for New York. Show me a feather, or show me something. For me, I had that happen fairly recently. It was a big question if I should continue with something or not. And I could not get an answer at all. It was just like Pink and Courtney were gone. And I was too emotional to see an answer, to feel an answer. So I just said, all right, show me a yellow Volkswagen, because I had to go and run errands. And so a yellow Volkswagen Bug, that's kind of the thing that I do. Some people do feathers. Some people, they have something some token that they will ask for. So for me, it was a yellow Volkswagen Bug. And so I pulled out of my driveway and I'm on a highway, and coming down the highway were 2 yellow Volkswagen Bugs. So do that. Ask for something that is really, because I had a Volkswagen Carmen Ghia, and it's got to be something that's like really personal to you, that you can identify with, that means something, like show me an amethyst crystal, or show me a purple hat. Maybe you're into wearing hats, and then pretty soon you'll be driving around, or you'll go somewhere and everybody's got a purple hat on or something. Very cool, Susan. Thank you, hon. Thank you. But yeah, it's a great way to work with your guides. What is that? St. Paul in the Bible, he was chasing Christian, and he ended a missionary. That is MTG. Okay. All right. Okay. Hi, Earth Steward. Good. Okay. You're welcome, Chester. Hi, Lady Di. Delphi says we can help the young kids by being human with them. I just had shoulder surgery, and I went to the school's bus stop, visible from. Instead of hiring a professional, I asked the kids who want to help. Good. Yes. And have them be creative in solving problems, and ask them, what do you think? How can I do this? I do that with McKenna all the time. And it's very different than how I would solve something, but it really fills her up with confidence. And I just like, whoa, it just opens up a whole new world, and seeing how they think. And okay, Catherine. Hi, hon. Can you explain 5D? And can we interact with people in the 3D? So I'm talking about the 5th dimension as a place that we can go. Then there's the 5th dimension, and how our soul resides in the 5th dimension. So I am teaching a dimensions series. We are going through all of the dimensions. We haven't even started the 2nd dimension because I've had some health challenges. We're going to get to that next week. But the whole year, each month is a dimension. So January is 1, and we'll end in December at 12. And you can join at any point. And I've got a sacred geometry class coming up that goes with it, because the 5th dimension is where we move from the 4th, where kind of all of our choices that we make as humans, where they can kind of come and just think of it real in simple terms, like bite us in the butt. Whereas the 5th dimension is where we get to a place of heightened evolution. The 1st dimension is recognizing the still point within, the blueprint. It's you before consciousness. 2nd dimension is where the consciousness comes. 3rd is where we experience it and we see duality. 4 is where we see how those choices that we make in that duality can kind of bite us in the butt. 5th is where we get to that elevated state of love. But also the physical experience of the 5th dimension is for crossover loved ones from the 3rd. So it's a whole big umbrella, if that makes sense. It's not just like one simple experience describes the dimensions. They're big and vast, and they make up the consciousness of us, that our whole human existence, 1 through 12 especially. That's why we're covering them. So but the fifth dimension, you heard me talk about crossover loved ones, but it's where you can choose to sit in unconditional love. That is the fifth dimension. And you hear people say, we're trying to get to 4 or 5D from 4D, or I don't understand what any of those teachings mean. I only understand what my channelings are from Courtney, and I've been channeling them for a few years now and fastening it into a book. So I hope that helped, Catherine. If you have more questions, just ask it. Okay. All right. Hi, Gizmo. Will I repeat that invocation? I don't know what I said. Oh, calling on my guide team of 100% divine light, please assist me with this work today. Gail, that I teach that in the Spirit Guide class. And we've got one coming up here in about 6 weeks. So check that out. And you guys, you know what I'm going to do now? I'm going to start to offer my classes as memberships on my channel, so that when I am live streaming, you can pop into the class if you want to join that membership tier. That way, hopefully we can reach more people that way. So that is an option too, Gail, but it's calling on my guide team of 100% divine light. Please assist me with this work today. So very cool. Very good. Very good. Okay. Hi, Fatima and John. Tell us about the beings in the 10th dimension. Well, 10, 11, and 12, Margarita, are the light dimensions. And so when you work with your guides of 10th dimension and beyond, you're dealing with the light beings. You're dealing with the ET beings that are, how do I explain that? They can be beings that maybe you've been incarnated with in other lifetimes, when you have done incarnations in those higher, in the light dimensions. But they are like the big ones, like Pink and Courtney. They are my solid guides. Like, I met Pink when I was 19, and I met Courtney when I was 22, and I'm 59 now. So like, these are the solid ones. Camus is a Sasquatch elder. Rosie is a Sasquatch guide. Camus is 25th. Rosie is the 18th. So these, they are permanent guides. And you'll hear that a lot, like, oh, my guides are changing, or a new guide came in. Well, yes, those are guides, and they're very valid guides. And but you just want to make sure that you're working with your consistent ones. It's like, folks will come in and try to give me messages and talk, like if I'm doing a reading with someone, and I don't want to hear from Dad right now. I'm talking to you, Margarita, and we're working with your guide, who is, maybe in the 13th dimension or 14th, right? And a loved one may come through and have a message, and it's like, I will like push that to the side and just say, not now, not yet, because you want that connection with spirit. that's clean and strong and real, right? See, like lower vibrational energies can kind of attach to your pendulum, but they're attaching to you. They're, that's why you maybe will get 5 yeses and 5 nos if you're asking the same question and you're not trusting it. And sometimes mischievous kind of lower energies doesn't mean it's bad, doesn't mean it's evil or it's dark or it's ooga booga booga. It's just these different levels. And that's just what you want to tap into. You get more clarity. You get, when you start working with that, you feel it. Like I feel really tight. When I first, I didn't understand that, Margarita, 5 years ago. When I've always had these abilities. But I thought I was crazy. I mean, I thought I was delusional and hearing things. And then I started the YouTube channel and I hooked up with other folks, other people in the biz out there. We were collaborating and I would have these really wild experiences that it took me time to figure out what that was about. And now I'm pretty clear on it. And I didn't have the clarity that I do now. I didn't have that established relationship with Pink and Courtney where it's really tight and I buzz now. I vibrate really high. Where before I would swing, I would do collaborations or hang out with other people that were doing this work. And I didn't understand what I was tapping into, I guess is how I put it, right? Does that make sense? Yeah, kind of a long-winded answer again, but thank you for asking. Hi, Serious One. Hi, Diane Brown from Queensland. You're welcome, Diane. Oh, good. Good. Hi, Gina. Thank you for being a member, Gina. You love my mom's speeches. You have to write McKenna tech support. I know, isn't sacred geometry so fascinating? Because when, and I've been channeling the dimensions, and then, but learning how these sacred geometric shapes, this is the language of God. It's the language of spirit. It's the language of the universe. And it provides so much structure. And I love that. I'm kind of a spirit nerd. I really have to know why and how things work before I will believe, I was like, oh, no. I have to understand it first before I will adopt it, and so for me, I mean, sacred geometry, it's so beautiful. It's the pattern of the universe, and it's the pattern in our emotions and our experience with our emotions, because our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions, they are energy. And they reside in different dimensions. And there's a sacred geometric shape that is associated with the dimensions. And if you consciously visualize those sacred geometric shapes, you can use them to heal your body, to heal emotional wounds, to spin off stress, to move you into a different place. Healers can, if you have clients, you can use it and have your clients visualize and then they can be part of their healing journey and sessions. It's so cool. Yeah, I love it too, hon. It's fascinating to think of the universe as this one, the more that we study something, my God, then we realize how much we don't know. But at the same time, you get these glimmers of how everything is just one, and that's so cool. God, I love it. Makes me cry. So beautiful. Okay. Hi, Gizmo. What's up? As soon as I get home from work, the crows and Charlie are all waiting for their cashews. Oh, how cute. You guys, the world's kind of tough right now. So what I do is on YouTube, you can, if you ever seen K9 Convoy, and it's this woman, she's so cool. She was in the corporate world, and then COVID happened, and she has this great relationships with dogs. She started walking all of her friends' dogs, for a break. And then her job changed, became a dog walker, but she's so good at it. And then she got this little bus that she refurbished it, and she's got this piece of property, and she goes around and picks up all these dogs when they go out for 2 hours, and they play, but they are so well behaved. It's just so great. So if you love dogs, K9 Convoy, it's like great for just like a 2-minute reset, Hi, April. Yeah, I can't tune into that right now, sweetie. I'm not really at 100% physically. I've been dealing with some health stuff, and I'm just not here yet all the way, but I'm coming back. Don't worry. Okay. A doctor in Japan uses secret geometry to heal people. See? Yes. Yes, yes. I love that. Okay, guys. Well, we've been at it for an hour. You're all awesome. Do you have any more questions? Do you have any more questions, gang? You want me to get a message? Maybe I could get a message here. I got to answer this person real fast, just a 2-minute or 2-word response. Okay, good. All right. Hi, Mimi Alvarez. Oh, I gotta talk to Angela. Ange, if you're out there, I'm gonna do another workshop in Golden, Colorado. I love Golden. Golden's not far from Red Rocks. It's a really cool little place. I love it, love it. So I'm gonna be back there, and then because I know you emailed me a bit ago, and then I'll be in K9 Convoy, and then K9 Convoy. Very good. Okay, Mimi, sorry, I'm doing 5 things at once. Golden, Colorado, Oahu, Waikiki will be there this fall, and working on Santa Fe soul contract weekend. But I think we need to have a soul contract weekend in Golden. The soul contract series is coming up in April, you guys. So if you've been wanting to get in on those classes, please sign up, jenbushman.com. It's going to start soon. Okay. Thank you, Earth Steward. Thank you, sweetie. You're good. It does sound good, doesn't it, Mimi? It's going to be good. All right. Any specific stones? Yes. We need stones for peace and ease. And I just happen to have some right here, of course. And amethyst, amethyst, amethyst. These three right now for peace and ease: amethyst, lepidolite, and selenite. All right, so amethyst, I love this. This one has a little bit of citrine growing on it. Do you see that? It's fading. It looks more yellow to me. Time, pressure, radiation, and iron is, but it's the radiation that brings out the purple in the amethyst. This one is from Paraguay. Paraguay has this real deep and gemmy purple terminations. Citrine is copper, right? Yeah, iron is amethyst, copper is citrine. That's why they'll grow with each other. You'll see a seam, or you'll be in the cave or get a geode, and you will see sometimes, and they call that ametrine. So, but right now, amethyst, this quiets the mind and it helps to release any stress. Right now, we need stones for peace and ease. So I'm really into trifectas of 3 stones. So amethyst with lepidolite and selenite. And you put that in a grouping of 3. But this opens up your third eye and brings in that spiritual connection. But it's really about quieting the mind and bringing in that peace. Selenite. Every household should have a sphere of selenite. This is a 10 millimeter. You need one of these. And this clears out any stagnant energy, and it restores harmony in the room or in your energy space. It promotes teamwork, it calls in your higher guides, your ancestors, your ascended masters, your angels. Plus, you get the sphere, and it, there it is. It opens up your third eye. But it protects your aura. It cleanses the energy. Selenite amplifies. This comes from Morocco. It's gypsum. And the best selenite, you want to get it from the middle of the seam. On the outsides, it'll be yellow and kind of look dirty. So you want the center, and from Morocco. I have these in the rock shop. And I have all kinds of beautiful gemmy amethyst geodes from Paraguay there too. Now, lepidolite. This is the stone of peace. It contains lithium. So it really calms and it restores, but it really calms any anxious feelings, any anxiety in the air. It will help you to sleep, but it's the stone of peace. It really eases any feelings of overwhelm. If you're feeling overwhelmed by emotion, this will help to transmute that. Now you can add howlite to that. Howlite is the white stone. Howlite, this transmutes grief energy or any unwanted energy. So putting these around the house right now, I have these all over. And black tourmaline. Black tourmaline absorbs any unwanted energy. This is black tourmaline. So just get these nuggets. This one has, these are beautiful. I got these from Brazil. I have them in the shop. They're full of quartz and gypsum, some pyrite. They're really, energetically, they just feel really good. But if you put these around, now they don't interfere with any of the trifectas going. See, I'm really into these 3 stone groupings because the energy works together. And so you want to keep your groupings 3 to 6 feet apart. But howlite, it kind of, you want these towers. It transmutes grief energy. This absorbs unwanted energy, kind of cleanses it. It acts like a toric field. You know what the torus is in sacred geometry? How you kind of, the energy will move in and out and around. It will do that, kind of cleans the energy. It's pretty cool. So I have lepidolite from the Ural Mountains in Russia. It's in northern Russia. It's where like this deep purple, it you see the crystal. This has a little agate in it. This is beautiful. It's from the Ural Mountains. I have some from Brazil, but I really like the stuff from Ural. Now, the Brazilian lepidolite, it's very light purple, and it's more soothing. Where this is soothing, but it's like, it does some work. If you deal with anxious feelings, maybe depression, yeah, you want the stuff from the Ural Mountains. Putting this by your bed, this will help promote sleep. These three things: lepidolite, amethyst, and howlite. I'm putting this grouping of three. Or if you can't slow down like rumination in your mind, if you're chewing on something and not able to sleep, just use amethyst by itself, by your bed. Nothing around. Don't have any stones in your bedroom. You know how you have all, like me, I've got 500 million rings, right? But they're all under glass. I don't have, all of my stones are very targeted in my bedroom. Remember, 3 to 6 feet, or I have them all working together. So I do crystal readings. I love it. I love stones. Like, I could just sit here and talk for the next 8 hours about stones, and that's what you're going to get me to do. I know you are. Gosh. Yeah, isn't it? Oh God, I just love rocks. To me, they're like live beings, and they all have something to say. All the stones I have in my rock shop, I do a reading on every one of them. They're all chosen for a specific purpose. We cleanse them, we wash them, we cleanse them, we charge them, and so when you get it to your house, they're ready to go. But if you get stones from anyone, you want to, it's like calibrating them to your energy. I mean, I do my best to clean them, clear them, and charge them up, but you take it one step further and calibrate. So you may feel like, oh, I want to cleanse it in sunlight and then charge in the moonlight. Do that. Just leave it by the window. Whenever there's a full moon, just leave it by the window a couple days before the full moon and after, and just let it go through charging, cleansing cycles. Even if it's overcast, that energy still affects the stone. It's okay. Yeah. Is that lavender rose quartz behind you? Shipping's calculated. It's in the rock shop, Paisley. Yeah, this one's a big one. I've got all kinds of pieces. I've got all that for sale. I've got about 12 pieces there. Okay, lavender rose quartz. S. Hi, Nat. Okay, I'll get to your question, Nat. Lavender rose quartz. I have blue rose quartz here. This one's blue rose. This is hematoid. This is smoky. Oh, and I'll just show you this one because I love this one. I don't know what you're talking about, Odelia, but I'll bring them down so we can talk about them. Okay, so this is smoky. This one is called the dot because it has a very cool dot. Smoky absorbs and it cleans. This is hematoid rose quartz. See how it has a lot of iron in it? This is good for healers, nurses, doctors. Healing the healer. That's prehenite, the greenstone. But see here, this one's hematoid. I love this one. Isn't that beautiful? Yeah. Or are you talking about this one? This one is blue rose quartz. So it's rose quartz, but it looks purple. My camera doesn't do it much justice because there's a lot of yellow in the light, but this is actually very purpley. So that could be the lavender that you're speaking of. What wine goes with lepidolite? 1998 Forest Pinot Noir. It's from Oregon. It's the one on the stand. Oh, this one. Is that what you're talking about? This one? This one is, this is lepidolite from Brazil. See how it's much lighter than the stuff from Russia? See? Yeah. Okay. I can't get to my... Okay, Nat. Is that what you were talking about, Odelia? I hope that. Okay, yes. Okay. And then Nat, I keep my stones in a glass jar on my windowsill, but these jars have plastic lids. Is that okay or not? Sure. Absolutely. However you want to work with them is fine. You know, and whatever you are attracted to will work for you. You know how sometimes you'll just have a rock and maybe for 6 months you just love it. You can't not carry it around or touch it. But, you know, 6 months later, you could just let it go, you know, pass it on to somebody else. Yeah, they change. They hold our frequency and they hold healing frequencies for us. So they can be a real ally in healing, you know. Just another, just one more piece of spirit. Is fluorite beneficial in the bedroom? It depends on what, if you want something for a little passion, that's rose quartz, carnelian, and red jasper for you, Delphi. If fluorite for you heals you, if you have a cold, especially if you have something going on in your lungs, asthma or you know, bronchitis, something like, if you have a cough, fluorite. But for you, for like, woo, red jasper, carnelian, and rose quartz. Yeah, like this. You need a sphere of rose. I'm not going to get all my rocks out. You guys are going to get me going. But like carnelian with the rose quartz and red jasper. I do have a red jasper dragon in the rock shop. Yeah, I know, Adelia. The earth has so, and we are meant to use crystals. We are meant to use them. Hi, Mario. Hi, honey. Jen, what do you use lava rock? Yes, lava rock can be used. Um, it's not as powerful as black tourmaline for washing like unwanted energy, but it can absorb. Um, it will really ground in your energy, Mario. It grounds you to the earth. I have a cool piece from that Lisa and Johnny brought back from when they were in Italy, and I believe it was when they were in Italy. Yeah, and it can be one of the best grounding. Like if you're feeling kind of like you're buzzing, or if you're in your head and you're ruminating about something, or if something's going on and you feel scattered, you feel worried, put lava rock in your left hand. Works better. Mine is my right, but you left, and just like do a meditation, and it will ground you. It's good for that, and it can clear out, but it's not as strong as like black tourmaline is. Yeah. Good question, sir. All right. Outside. Okay, guys. Health. Oh, for health. Not spicing it up. For health. Yeah. You're welcome, Mario. Or Marie. Is it Marie Olizondo? I'm not sure. But you are welcome. And for your health, yes. Fluoride is good for you, but it's for you, it's any asthma. I'm just really in your lungs. It's good for your lungs. Okay, gang. Thank you so much. Check out jenbushman.com. Check out my rocks. I have a lot. We've got like 12. No, more. We've bunch of going out. We do have one. I should mention that because we have one of these Merkabas left, and I know they go fast. In case you've ever, oh, it's Yogi Bear. Hi, sweetie. Yeah, these go fast. We have one left. It's a green one. So if you want it, email me. I don't know if McKenna got it in the shop, but email me, Jen at Jen Bushman, and we can, get on the phone and I can show it to you if you want. Yeah. Okay. You're so welcome, everyone. It was good to see you all and connect. And oh my gosh, we've gone way over. But thank you. And I love you all the time. And I'll come back on. But keep sending my kidneys and my heart all kinds of juicy golden light and love. And I really appreciate that. Do I teach what, honey? About crystals? Oh, yeah. I love you too, Gina. Margarita, what do you mean? Do I teach about rocks? Yes. Yeah, we have rock classes. Not lately because just a whole bunch of stuff has happened, and but yeah, normally we do have lots of rock classes going on. Love you, Gina. Thank you, sweetie. Yeah. Thank you, Earth Steward. Thank you, Paisley. Thanks for being here. Thank you, moderators. There's Sharon. The Frenchie, thanks for being a member, Sharon and Susan. I love you guys. Thank you. Thanks to all the new subscribers. A bunch of new folks are here. That's great. All right, guys. I could just hang out. I know we could just play. I really want to, because I got some new agate and McKenna put it up in the shop. Okay. I love you guys. Yes. Love rock reading. Okay, guys, I gotta go. See, now I'm all jazzed. I was supposed to go take a nap. McKenna just texted me. She said, "You need to go to bed now, Mom." She's cracking the whip lately. She knows, like, if I'm supposed to be napping, she knows if I'm making videos. And I think she's reaching out to Adrian now, saying, don't let Mom work too much. Yeah, she's going off. Okay. I love you all so much. I will see you soon. Okay. Love you too, Starfish. All right, guys. Bye-bye, everyone.